What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today we're jumping back into some more Orcs Must Die Unchained. This time we are going to the baths for a par update. Now this is mainly because the time on the baths has been shortened significantly, and I've been able to do it with a lot of characters. Bianca just literally didn't trap correctly the first time, but Blackpaw, Cygnus, Dobbin, Hogarth, like a decent volume of characters have gone through this so far and not really had much of an issue with it. So at the moment, let's see, I guess I should probably have melee character do it because melee characters will probably give most people the easiest time. We're not going to use that. That's a deck that I'm planning on doing another video with. But let's see. I'm going to use a deck that's similar to the Endless Baths because of the available placement of siphons and other things. It's probably a good idea not to worry about mana, and if you have a mana siphon, to place it into something like one of your tar traps. In this case, I actually have a bounty generator in that tar trap, so let's go ahead and change that. I do have a mana siphon or two. I recently acquired them, so those would be good ideas. I have some subsidized parts inside the Viscous tar, so they're a little bit cheaper. I guess like something that I've been avoiding a little bit is talking about trap parts and which ones are useful and useless, and that's because I think a lot of changes are going to be happening to trap parts in the future, just because some of them seem very, very bad, but I think I'll highlight the good ones specifically in some future videos, but we'll save that for later. So anyway, we're going to go in here with Midnight. We're going to start with basically what I use for Endless, because this setup works extremely well for just about everything, although yeah, I think we're pretty much fine. I only use this for the HP regeneration, although the Unchained movement bonus is good for characters like Bianca. I believe she has a movement bonus that you can stack on top of it for a full 100% bonus. And then this lets you take less damage. Bear Hugs makes it so that enemies take more damage near you. I believe this may affect traps, but I'm not 100% on that. So anyway, let's go ahead and go in here. And keep in mind also that the firewall bracers that I have can easily be replaced by something like the Ring of Storms or the Arcane Bubble Blower. It's really there just for additional damage to help the larger minions die a little bit quicker, but the small minions pretty much just go down easily anyway.
Strike from the shadow. You survive.
Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do here, if you have the boom barrel roller, place it up top. Then what you'll want to do afterwards is drop some Burning Bits down here. Drop the Guardian of your choice over here. And continue. Now, most of the other traps will come into play a bit later, and you'll get to see what those are for in a few moments. Right when the gate's about to break, go ahead, drop the firewall, and you want to fight like just behind it and allow it to damage the enemies. Like, you just need them to catch fire so that the fire starts dealing its damage, and then once it starts doing its thing, you should be mostly okay. Any gnolls that jump by you will basically just sprint towards your guardian and die a horrible, painful death. But otherwise, it should be pretty good. Now, whether you're doing this with Midnight or Blackpaw or whoever else you have, if it's a relatively low HP character, they're going to have an HP regen skill. I would recommend taking that, as with the added damage reduction, your effective HP and the effective HP regeneration is much higher. I'm going to take Heart and Killer here. Alright, now that we have a bit of coin, I'm going to add a couple of Bowling Balls. These do not stop when they hit an enemy or the Guardian, so they're effectively going to pierce through. Alright, now stop the bit just to start setting up those there. They are going to start dealing damage to everything as it comes through. Nope, didn't mean to push that button at all. Alright, so keeping the enemies on fire. We're having the boom barrel rollers do their thing. Alright, you see everything's pretty much just dying at the door. That's what you have to maintain. So, put boom barrel rollers up as high as possible, and we get even more explosions. Now you don't really have to worry about kobolds at all. They'll really wind up getting themselves killed. Alright. So we're going to do that, and then we're just going to prowl out to this rift, kill it, and head back. And if you're using Black Paw instead of prowling, what you would want to do is just go ahead and pounce your way there. Might not get there quite as fast, but pounce doesn't have a cooldown, so turning around and getting back should be just as easy, although you'll be a little bit shorter on mana. Trade-offs have to be made. Okay. So I actually should have brought spikes instead of the tar there, and why, oops, that'll be relevant, will be able to be shown better later. I'm going to take the Samurai armor as my second perk, just to toughen me up just a little bit. There are going to be some relatively heavy enemies coming through here, and heavy enemies really do suck for midnight. Alright, those are cleared out. Oh, there's another set behind them. As long as you stay on top of those guys, they really won't get to do much of anything. And that's the goal. So if you bring spikes, you can put about 2 rows of spikes in front of these brimstones, and they should help significantly with damage dealing. I probably should have moved that floor scorcher out of the way so that I could actually set a row of brimstones. After the 2 rows of spikes, you'll want to set another brimstone out, and then that should get you some pretty crazy damage. Alright, now everything is dead. You can move this back. Maybe not quite there. There we go. Alright, now a good idea is actually to start placing, after we kill Hogarth, some Ballista along the side. There's plenty of places for it. Okay. Where are things? Okay, they're all dead. About 3 deep over here is the most that most enemies should even be getting, so you really don't have to worry about much after that. If you're playing a slower character, a good idea is to use some of your coin instead of placing the boom barrel rollers to place ballistas in the rear, and that should basically allow you to take out the unstable rifts without having to do too much work yourself. Now I have had some weird issues with using ballistas to take out unstable rifts, and that's that you have to personally have your character get vision before they will be targeted, and I'm not sure if that's a bug or not, but I think it is. Okay. And we have our first boss, and we're about 6 minutes in on wave 8, which is pretty much where you want to be. Alright, now we should have more than enough time to murder these guys really hard. See, they're pretty much infinitely on fire. And then we're just gonna prowl again. Run back here to our friend, kick him in the teeth, and mash Z.
And there was much rejoicing.
Now I'm not sure if those elevated arcane bowling balls are able to hit the large minions. I think they may be able to, because their hit area is a little bit larger than it looks, but I could be wrong on that. And I don't really seem to be able to see those firing either. Do they get blocked? Oh, they do get blocked. Okay. So it looks like they're a bit too tall. That sucks. There's not really any other place where I can see them being useful here. Because these sides are too packed and you can't put anything on the sides over here. Not that we'll reach anyway. Unless... I guess we could try that. Not quite what we're looking for, but better than nothing. Alright, these guys aren't going to really get anywhere. Yeah, we're just going to kill that guy and take out the second one as soon as possible. Ability to kill is what we're going for in the end. Okay, and that should pretty much give us everything that we need here. I'm going to start placing some tar just because Midnight's primary attack gets a damage boost from snared enemies and should ideally start dealing even more damage as they get caught with the tar. Under the right conditions, Midnight's damage almost catches up to Bianca's, which is really impressive. Okay, no reason to put them there. Alright, so the only time that you really absolutely have to move up is when you have archers show up and try to hide behind enemies. You generally want to make sure that you take out the shamans before they get a shot off too, if possible. If you have Black Paw instead of Midnight, you're going to want to go ahead and just right click. Huh. I wonder if that helps with combos at all. Possibly. Let me go see what this is about. I'm just going to dash slash through him and stun everybody for a moment. Attacks with Midnight while prowled will stun your enemies. Always a good idea. Alright, what else do we have happening here? Don't see anything else super important. And I think I have most of the immediately available traps in. Okay, so we have about 50 seconds to finish this off. It should be enough time. I'm gonna just unchain now, make sure we kill everything ultra fast. Add the fire as well. Now, you can't kill everything any faster than the last enemies come out. So, if anything gets to the Guardian, but you still have a couple of enemies to deal with, don't worry about it too much. You got about 20 seconds. And those large ogres are pretty much your finish line. Oh, I missed that. That was bad. There we go. We get Midnight doing a little jig. Alright, so that was 11 minutes and 3 seconds. That's about as fast as I normally do it. You can see that I'm dealing a lot more damage with heroes Then I deal with traps here. For parring this particular map, I find that to be common, even when using a ranged hero like Cygnus. If anybody wants to see this finished with a ranged hero as well, feel free to drop a comment and I will go ahead and get that done. I do want to get some more of the par updates done though for the new maps, or not the new maps, just the maps that I haven't covered yet. Vanity plating is probably one of my most hated parts because there is, for people that don't know this, there seems to be currently in the game an experience cap. You can't get higher than level 20. So if you can't get higher than level 20, getting experience faster is useful, but it falls off in its utility very, very early. Not super early, but early enough that it'll only matter in Endless, and you would normally have gotten there anyway by playing long enough. Whereas things like, say, the bounty generator will get you more coin, which is useful early and later, because you will need to rebuild things like barricades. The health siphon will help to keep your health topped off, and the mana siphon will keep your mana pretty much filled all the time. Vanity plating doesn't help with trap economy or anything like that, so it's really one of the worst component parts right now. Either way, like I said, I'll talk about parts another time. Either way, thanks as always for watching, folks. I sincerely appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the comments below. And as always, until next time, have a good one, folks.